If you're 30 now and you want to retire at 50, 20 years time, you're going to have to save £70,000 a year every year.
Get more clients.
It's not good enough to go, number.
That's the problem we need to fix.
What are you going to do between the ages of 60 and 85? Hello. In this video, we are going to talk to you about accurate goal setting and what to do to be able to achieve those goals within your fitness business.
Hey guys, we're Dan and Mike from Business and Banter, formerly Biceps and Banter, as you can see from the name of the channel. And we're here today to help you with your online fitness business in any way that we can. And today, we're going to talk about goal setting that goes beyond get more clients in 2025, because I think a lot of the time people are very unaware about how to probably set goals. You might have heard the whole SMART goals. I think they're a bit like dead in now, aren't they? Probably still relevant to some degree, but I don't think people talk about them as much. I think it's more important to really kind of set out more like how you're going to achieve those goals in terms of like the actual processes, habits, things that need to be done on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I think it's very easy to set revenue goals and targets, but I kind of sit there and go, okay, but if you carry on doing what you've done, are you going to get to that place? Are you going to get to that point? So we're going to talk about how to kind of like accurately kind of assess your goals, accurately assess what needs to be done to kind of achieve that, and sort of break it down so that you can work out whether you're hitting or missing a lot of those things that need to be done to achieve the goal. Because I think what a lot of people do, they get to the end of the year and it's just this binary, did I make this amount of money, yes or no? And the reality is there's probably about 80 things between, you know, the January to the December that you could have done or couldn't have done, that if you'd have worked out whether you hit or missed them, you'll see where you went wrong versus just thinking you're shit because you didn't hit the revenue target, for example. So we're going to break down a little bit around how we do that, what we focus on, and how we help our clients set better goals.
Yeah, so I would always write them down. That's the first thing.
If you can write, that is.
Because the amount that I've done some goal setting with some clients recently, and those that were my client last year, we've got a document to kind of fall back on, review, analyse, assess, adjust targets if needed, if they were a bit too pie in the sky, work out why we didn't hit specific things. And that's for our clients that have been with us a year plus, right? The ones that haven't, very, very rarely, when I say, do you have any kind of tangible goals that were written down or anything like that, very rarely do I get anybody go, yeah, actually they're here. So the first thing to do is write them down, because it's just as important to go and review those goals as it is to write them, because it's pointless just thinking that you want to achieve something. And like Dan said, like almost like that, yeah, I'd like to have 60 clients by the end of the year. And what's that? 60 times 12. Okay, so that's, 60 times 200, so that's 12. Okay, times that by 12, so that's 144 grand a year. Yeah, I'd like to earn 144 grand a year. And I look at it and I go, yeah, but you've got to work your way up to 60, so that's one. So there's going to be a period of time where you're not earning 12 grand a year. So then that means you've got to earn more than 12. Oh, okay, so I did that wrong. Okay, so maybe about 100. Like, no. You're missing the wood for the trees here. It's like, no, let's set some realistic goals, and then let's set a to-do list, a step-by-step of what we believe will move you closer to those goals. So how we go about goal setting is that you need to know where you're going to some degree. Now, not everybody knows what they want for their future, and I'd say rarely people are able to predict exactly where they're going to be in 5 years. I think it's difficult, right? But then there needs to be at least a theme of what you would want in your life, whether that's more money, right? Whether that's to be on the property market, whether that's to be doing some property investment, whether that's to have more balance, travel, married, kids. Like, what is it? Where do you want it to be in an amount of time? Because I think sometimes people just don't know, and you're going to need to know. Like, you're going to need to know. So, like, you're a business owner and you're self-employed. You should be putting into a pension. Boring, but you should be putting into one. But what are you going to do between the ages of 60 and 85? 25 years, right? So then you kind of go, well, at 60, I'm going to need to have X amount. What amount? What amount if you're retiring at 60? And I would hypothesize that most coaches are probably pushing it at 60, being a coach, right? Bringing people on, or 59. Most coaches, not all, but most. So you go, maybe it's a bit before that. So what does it look like? What do you need to invest? What do you need to save? Like, work out like what your future looks like. Because nobody looks at it. Oh, I just keep doing this and I keep doing that. I'll spend all the money that the business earns. How old are you? 30. Okay. So you want to retire at 50? Yeah, 50. Okay. So let's just say if you live from 50 to 35, and let's just
85.
say, 85, so 35 years. So let's just say you want to live off, pick a number.
40 grand a year.
40 grand a year. So reasonable. Coaches would moan at 40 grand a year, but anyway. So that means that you're going to have 1.4 million in then to retire at 50. So you're going to have 1.4 million, and you're 30, right? So that's 20 years. So I'll divide that by 20. So that means you've got to be saving. Obviously, you can invest and stuff like that, right? And you're going to get some interest on that. But you need to, if you're 30 now and you want to retire at 50, 20 years time, you're going to have to save £70,000 to have that.
A year, every year.
70,000, yeah. A year every year. You've got to save 70.
Not earn it, save it.
Yeah, no, save 70. Save 70. And look, if you invest in your money, which people are, but some aren't, and that comes down to goal setting as well, right? Is that you've got to have to have the goals to invest a certain amount. That's save 70. 70 times 35 is 1.4 million, right? And that's just to live off £40,000 a year until you're 85. Like, this is like a stark reality. We all are self-employed, right? And we're all living it up. We're going to the gym in the middle of the day and living life and brilliant. Yeah, I'm earning £5,000. I don't want to be a killjoy, but when you're employed, that's taking care of you. Your employer usually matches your pension contribution. You get to pension age, and okay, I'm safe. I'm okay. We've matched myself and my employer across the years. This is now on you. It's now on you. So I can't work out. It's going to be too complex to sit here on a video and do it live to work out, okay, so if you did invest into the S&P 500, for example, okay, how much do you need to invest per year as opposed to save per year to hit that amount of money?
Well, it's not going to be a million miles away, is it?
I'll work it out. You put your input in, and I'll work it out.
I think with that as well, like I know sometimes that coaches might seem a little bit way off, and it might seem a little bit well, I just need actually 10 clients through the door now before I even worry about that and get to that point, right? And I understand that you need to have an element of people coming in now and all that sort of stuff. But the reason we're going over this is that you need to know what you're working towards the whole time, so that you know how hard to work, and you know what numbers you need to get to. I think it certainly brings your goals into stark reality, into view, and you start to realize what you actually want out of all this, and you start to realize why you are doing it, and it then becomes important as to why you want to do that. So again, like Mike said before, like, you know, having a kid, it makes you realize, well, I want to have this element of security, I want to make sure this is provided for, I want to make sure they have this. And that is one of the reasons why you work, right? Is to provide for a family or provide for yourself. And when you then start looking at these goals, like I know one of my clients, for example, she's gone into, I think her 2025 goals are like 6 pages long because she broke it down step by step, right? So once you've got that bigger picture goal that Mike's sort of working out now, and you kind of look over this, you then go, right, well, how much do I want to invest a month? Let's say it's £1,000 you want to invest, which would be very, very impressive. I think one of hers was around that sort of number. She wants to save a certain amount. She wants to be able to pay a coach a certain amount. She wants to be able to have a certain amount of fund money and all these sorts of things, right? So that was kind of like how this got brought up. And then it was like, okay, well, where are you at now? And it was like, well, I'm this far away from that number, let's say, by the end of the year. And you basically have to work out, well, how have you got to this goal? How have you got to this number? And it's like, well, I post this much, talk about things this much, send this many emails and this many posts. And you always have to reverse engineer it to go, well, let's assume then that to do more, you would have to do this, the relative amount increase. So let's say it's 30% increase in content. You might have to make your content a bit better. You might have to spend 30% more time looking at content creation, learning about content. You might have to spend 30% more time sending emails, writing emails. You might have to do 30% more emails at a launch. You might have to do an extra launch a year. You might have to do whatever it might be, right? You might have to increase your customer lifetime value, which might mean that you increase either the prices you charge or the amount of time people spend in your business. You might need to look at your coaching. You might need to look at your onboarding. You might need to look at trying to improve retention. It all depends on what that overall goal is, because one of your goals could be to increase your revenue, but to keep your client workload the same. Well, then you got to increase your prices. How are you going to do that? What's it look like? Well, for new people, it's this. For current clients, I might have to increase this percentage. At what date are you going to do that? How's it going to go? What if some of these people drop off? What and how many clients you need in? It's almost forecasting. I say it's goal setting. It's almost forecasting, really, and going deeper into what these numbers look like, so that you can start to get an awareness. And then, you know, if you get to the end of the year and you look back and you go, well, I did actually hit 75% of everything that I wanted to do. and therefore I hit my goal, you then realize that actually you're not supposed to hit every single goal. You're not supposed to hit every single thing that you do. You don't need to kind of achieve the goals that you've set. Whereas I think what people do is they get to the end of the year going, I didn't get the number of clients I wanted. I go, how come? Don't know. That's what we get. Don't know. Didn't really work hard enough. Whereas if you do it our way, you start to break down and look at, well, actually, look, this month I only posted this much on Instagram. These months I just disappeared on my email list. These months I didn't do a launch. I didn't really give it the time of day. I went on holiday here, and here. So it meant the launch wasn't as good. You start to then look back over the year and you can then start to know where you need to improve. Whereas if it is just need more clients, what do you think you need to improve on? Don't know. That's what we get back all the time. Don't know really. Just need to work harder. And I kind of go, well, yeah, probably. But on what? Whereas at least this way I can sit back and go, well, no, look, actually you sent 2 emails a week every day for the 52 weeks. Probably isn't emails, right? Oh, you actually did post on Instagram kind of like 5-6 times a week actually over the whole week. Oh, that looks pretty good. Oh, hang on. You've only been on Instagram stories 3 times in a week and you've had multiple days where you've gone missing throughout the whole of this year. And then you're realizing that you're not getting as many people sign up for your lead magnet. Right, okay, the email list hasn't grown, has it? Right, because those engaged followers aren't actually moving across the lead magnet, are they? No. You're not really done that many CTAs for lead magnet in your content, have you? No. So that's, you posted regularly, you posted enough, but then you break it down and look at the actual intricacies of what's happened and you go, well, now I see why that's not happened. So this year, we're going to do more of that. This year, we found the virus within all the fucking things that are going on and go, that's the problem we need to fix. All the other stuff stays the same. You're going to see that increase. Whereas, again, what we usually get is, don't know. Like again, with the investment, are you on track for your investments? Don't know. Am I supposed to be investing? Don't know. I can tell you now for a fact, we're on track. We're ahead of track. We're ahead of schedule with where we want to be. How do I know? Because we talk about it all the time. We lay it down all the time, month to month. We review it all the time. Just don't see coaches doing it. How much do you need, Michael?
Compound interest is fucking mega.
You gotta love compound interest, don't you? You gotta love it.
So
that's why you should start now as well, by the way. Just start fucking now.
Yeah. It's mega. It's still 30 grand a year. Yeah. You've got to save starting this year.
Yeah.
For 20 years. To retire in 20 years. It's still £30,000 every year. But compound interest is wicked.
So what's that, 2,000?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 grand.
2.5 a month.
Yeah, it's 2.5 a month, right? Every month for the next 20 years. And then that'll be you able to retire on at 60 till 85 on 40 grand a year. Don't want to say it, but 40 grand maybe when you're 70 is not going to go as far as 40 grand now, right? No, so, but anyway, my point that I was getting to is you kind of need to have this big overarching kind of goal and at least some thought process on your future, because it's really easy to not think about that. And look, I didn't think about that in the first couple of years of my coaching. I didn't. And I got into it late, and thankfully things have gone well for us, and and I'm glad that they have, of course. But I now know the importance of having something to work towards. It's the same way as if you went for a run and you know that you're doing 5k, you can get through the 5k. If somebody tells you to run indefinitely and you don't know where the end point is, it's much more difficult to stay running. You don't know where that end point is. It's difficult to keep going. So you need to have some semblance of what my future looks like. So then you break it down and go, right, so if I need to be investing 2.5 grand a month, right, okay, so where do I need to be at year 5, at year 3, at year 1, right? And we break things down. So with our goals, we know where we want to be in 5 years' time. Now, luckily, we're on track currently that we just need to stay the same. So it's kind of different for us. We don't need to necessarily grow the business. But maintenance is still a goal in itself, right? And we can't slip on certain things, and we still need to be innovative, and we still need to be a step in front, right? We still want to do those things. But again, if the goal is to invest that amount of money, let's just say that that's what you've written down. I'm not saying everybody needs to do that. Let's just say it is. And you go, what do I need to do, and what do I need to be earning to achieve that? And then you go, right, okay, so let's just say I've got £1.5 grand on my mortgage, £500 other expenses. So £2 grand. Paying, I don't know, 40% tax, something like that, 30%, 40%. So you're talking to invest. So that's £2 grand plus your 2.5 grand. So that's 4.5. So you're probably looking at earning £8,000 or £9,000 to be investing 2.5 grand. If you're not there, right, what do I need to do to get there? Essentially, and then you break it down into the numbers, and it's not good enough to go number. It's not good enough to do that. So one of our things that we had as a goal last year, and we did it wrong, is we did that at 150 in the Members Plus, in our Members Plus offering. we're at 23. Way off. We'll hold his hands up. Way off. Miles off. The goal was way out, and we didn't have a clear strategy of how we're going to get there. So we go, right, okay. So what is a more realistic goal for us? So you kind of go 60. Okay, that's a more realistic goal to hit, and it's not good enough to go 60. What is good enough is you go, right, okay. So what do we need over the next 90 days? So 90 days a quarter, 4 quarters a year, we're at 23. Okay, what's the regular churn that we're getting? 3 or 4 a month. Okay, right, so 3 or 4 a month. What do we need in terms of sign-ups? Okay, so we need 20 per quarter, so that's 80 across the year plus the 23 that we've got, allowing for 40 drop off across the year. We'll end up at that 60 and we'll hit that goal, and that's still not good enough. And you go, well, how are we going to get 20 in? You have to break it down and be specific with what you're doing. Okay, well, we probably should be collecting some social proof. So how are we going to do that? When are we going to systemize that process? We probably should be call to action in it a little bit more, right? So do we need to change our funnel in terms of lead magnets, how we would call to action, what the Members Plus is in the email sequence on a follow-up for that? Should we probably be pushing the Members Plus a little bit more in the members group? Okay, what does that look like? What amount of times do we need to do that? We probably need to put some social proof in there. We should probably mention it on every single one of our webinars. Do we think that getting more people in the members group is going to improve the numbers of the Members Plus? Yes. Okay. So again, how do I do that? It's not pie in the sky. It's right. Okay. So we probably need to devote more time to looking at ads. We probably need more time devoted to email marketing, and we probably need more time devoted to YouTube. We'll get more awareness, more know, like, and trust by doing those things, which in turn should have a knock-on effect to the members group. We're also going to CTA for the members group on this every time. So you'll see a CTA on this. We'll CTA via email. We'll CTA when I'm writing the webinar every time. I'll CTA it, boom, what it is. We'll CTA on the webinar itself, right? So we've got some processes to be able to look at what's worked and what hasn't when we review at the 90 days, at the end of the year, whenever it is, right? So we've got some processes. Now, it's always your best guess. Me going, we're going to CTA on this, we're going to CTA on email, we're going to CTA when I'm writing the webinar, is a guess, right? Nobody knows a specific amount on when to do it, but we know. If we stick to the processes we've set, whether we hit that 20 in the Members Plus, for example, doesn't matter. We know we'll be closer. And if we're closer to that 20, we're closer to the 60 that we want by the end of the year. And if we're closer to that 60, we're closer to the 3-year goal. And if we're closer to the 3-year goal, we're closer to the 5-year goal. You're closer each time. You're chipping away. But at least you can look back at the systems, the processes, identifying areas of the business that, okay, we fell short. We look at our goals last year. One of our goals on our goal thing was we want to post 10 to 14 times. We didn't do it. We're miles off. But we look at it and go, we didn't need to. So we don't go, what am I going to do to hit 10 to 14 times this year? We actually have revised those goals, and we wouldn't be able to revise those goals or those targets without having that structure in place to go, actually, we didn't need that. We're only posting 5 times a week. Do we want to do a bit more than that? Yeah, we probably should do a bit more than that. We've been a bit slack, but actually we're in a really good spot here. We're getting the results that we're wanting on 5 or 6 times. So maybe 10 or 14 is going to be wasted effort. It's going to be an excess there of effort in a direction that we don't need it. We can only do that by structured goal setting and being sensible about the process, about actually looking at the numbers on what it means and what that means in 3 months' time, how that transpires in a year, how it transpires in 3 years. Because too many coaches just go, yeah, I kind of want that. I want to be like... We have a questionnaire that goes out, right, to new starters. And some of it's just like that. It's what makes you say that you're going to be at 100 clients by the end of the year? Like, you're at 21. Like, you show me then. Show me. What does that look like? Accounting for churn. Show me. Okay, so how many sales calls you need to book for that then? Accounting for the percentage success rate. Show me. So how many calls are you booking at the moment? Okay, because you're at 21 clients. So how many more do you need to book? Or how are you going to do that? What does that look like in terms of content? What does that look like in terms of calls to actions? What does that look like in different mediums of content? Instagram, YouTube, emails. What lead magnets do you need? What email list should you have? Are you going to run group launches? When are they going to run? When are you going to start marketing those? Nobody sits down and does it. They just go 100 clients. Good luck.
Just quickly, Mike, what is the Members Plus?
The Members Plus. So we've got the best product on the market with one-to-one coaching with us, sure. Hands-on, actually chat to us, etc.
There's a waiting list, isn't there?
There's a waiting list, which is the downside. Sure, it's 4 months. And we understand that people probably want to get started in some way, shape or form now, right? You're not going to want to wait 4 months. And we've got the members group, which is only the best value thing out there on the market, isn't it? 99 quid, less than a client. So we got that. Brilliant. Get in there, soak up that knowledge. But we know that there's a reason why somebody would want to work with us, and they probably want some accountability, some differences of approach or thought process, somebody to bounce ideas off of, somebody to help guide them at certain points of time. And obviously, if you've got to wait 4 months for us, that's probably not a great thing. So what we've done is we've upskilled Jake and Jack, one of our longer term clients, in the certain things that we might go through in the initial 3 or 4 months of working with somebody who's at a certain level of income. Usually I would say the coaches that are probably within 0 to 20 clients?
20, yeah.
0 to 20 clients. So it's going to be perfect to get you started so you don't have to wait the 4 months for us. So if you're between 0 and 20 clients, it's incredibly cost effective. There's no contract like everybody else.
It's literally the same way we do it, right? It's exactly one-on-one. You get all that support, all that guidance, fortnightly check-ins, exactly the same way that we've done it. Again, those guys have been through it with us from that point of view. So it is literally the exact same service we provide, just with Jake and Jake. Obviously, we mentor them, and Jack, we mentor them, and we kind of on hand to answer any questions they've got as well. But, they've been in your shoes. Like, those guys now are all on 70 plus clients, I think, pretty much. All run their own very successful businesses within that, and have done that all, again, well, certainly Jake and Jake on very modest followings and all the stuff that we talk and we preach about. I say this regularly to some people, is that they're actually arguably better placed if you've got between certainly 0 to 10, I think, because they're a lot closer to that than we were and we have been. So it's definitely a great place to start, and it's like less than half the price now of what it costs to work with us. So again, more cost effective from that point of view. So if you're in the members group, it's a great place to get that extra accountability and support that you need, and guidance, and arguably just coaching, which is what we all want and need. And with that, you don't have to pay the members group. You get it all included within that. So if you're in the group, the price will be in there. Message one of us directly if you want. We'll tell you what the price is. I'm not going to do it on the video because it might change by the time you watch this video, so it's redundant. But yeah, like I said, it's well over half the price of what we charge. So, it is pretty cost effective from that point of view as well. So certainly something to get stuck into and think about.
For those coaches that have got up to 20 clients that don't want to take the risk of paying out 4, 5, 6 grand to a mentor, no contract, like Dan said, still hands-on with really good guys as well. So that's the Members Plus. Yeah. Thank you for asking, Dan.
That's what I just thought. I know a lot of them are going to be asking that question. A lot of them are sat there, I just wonder what that is. I wonder what it's all about. And we'll be talking about a lot more in the Members Group, obviously, because we believe in it and we genuinely believe that it's the right thing for a lot of people.
They're getting some good results, really good results.
Fantastic results with the guys there. So that in terms of goal setting, I think it's really important that, and that's where, again, like those guys, us, we can help you with that, because it's our job to call you out on this stuff. And like I said, a lot of coaches, when you're on your own, you're in your own little bedroom, your own little spare room, and you're there with your laptop, you've got no one else to really talk to and bounce ideas off, you don't ask yourself these questions because you don't know what you don't know. And I think sometimes just exposing yourself to these exposing yourself to these new ideas and what's going on, I think you'll find that actually you do start to think differently. You do start to think more like a business person, more like an entrepreneur, more like someone who's going to build something longer term than just you sat there, like say, in your spare room wanting more than a couple of clients. It's like, yeah, that's how you need to think, right? And being challenged that way is very, very useful, because then you have something to work towards on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I feel like with coaches, like we come up against all the time, I just don't know what to do today, just don't know what to do in a week. And I'm like, well, that's how I know you've not set your goals properly, because you're sat there going, I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do with my day. And I'm like, fucking hell, I know what to do with my day. Second I get any free time to work, I know what we're doing. I know what we're working towards. Sometimes that's missing, and it comes from that goal set, and it comes from a lack of direction with that. And we do that, except with our guys, we're always reviewing it, like saying every quarter, Q1, Q2, business speak, management speak. But it just so happens that it usually fits around that. I do it with my clients, certainly with my guys and girls that do group coaching launches. I tend to do it around there. I go, right, how's the launch? Let's debrief. Have a week of you take your foot off the gas because it's stressful. So maybe more 3 times a year you might look over it, but it's important to do it. Important to do it.
I think that's it, is it?
That's that.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Good. There you go.
Enjoy. Have a good one. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz.
3 minutes. Good timing.
See you in a bit.
Cheers.